Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for the music, Sean. As always, absolutely brilliant. You're a kindly man. And there's Steve leaving us in some posters, and we'll make good use of those for the Battle of the Bands. It's lovely to see the young people, Mayor. Oh, this is Michael. Oh, sorry, I should introduce Michael first of all. Michael Ruane from Warren Point, Sinn Féin councillor since a long time now, 12 years ago, and last night was elected the new Lord Mayor of the city of Newry and the district of Mourne. You're most welcome in studio.
Thank you, Ewan.
Listen, thanks for taking the trouble to come in, because I know it's a very busy morning for you.
Yeah, this morning has been a bit hectic between phone calls of people wanting to do interviews and yourself looking a live interview.
Well, we got in early last evening and you were very kind.
You did indeed.
You know, the most awful thing in the world, Michael, is when people in politics and whatever else, they don't return calls, but you do, and you're a good man. You care about relationships.
Well, I have a few people out there still waiting on a call to return, but yeah, you do try to do that, and I think people appreciate that most definitely.
You're in politics. You're in the shoes or the chain. John was here last 2 days. Monday, John was here with the chain on him, and now it's on the shoulders of Michael Ruane. Why did you come into politics in the first place? What moved you?
I suppose. I was a Sinn Féin supporter all my life. If I go back to my school days, it was the politics that was for me. I didn't ever foresee myself getting involved in the way I did end up being a elected representative and now being mayor of the district. It just wasn't on the horizons at all for me. Things transpired to make it happen. I just went with it. It was nothing that I foreseen myself ever doing.
And you come to the role with great humility, because you make the point in the Democrat in the Democrat today that you know, I think the quote is, and it's a lovely quote. Blah 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 blah. He said that while he wouldn't succumb to the pomp and hoopla sometimes associated with the role, he would endeavour to fulfil all his duties to the best of his ability. I certainly won't be making a big deal about it. I don't have a huge speech or anything planned. A significant aspect of the role that it's just ceremonial, and I let that take care of it. Nice humility there.
Yeah, I think I have friends who were ribbing me yesterday on text messages and phone calls and that there, and I think they'll keep me feet firmly on the ground and firmly focused of where I've come from, and I'm still there. I'm still the same person.
Yeah. Where have you come from? What have you worked at outside politics?
Well, in my trade, I'm actually a painter by trade.
Yeah.
That's what I done from basically I left school. I worked at resin flooring with a couple of contractors locally up until a couple of years ago, and I'm sort of, I suppose the last number of years now has been almost full time with the politics side of things.
I was going to say to you that the business of being a painter has similarities with the business of being a politician. Patience is needed. In both, you need the patience to prepare the job properly and let everything dry. In politics, you need patience to see the maturation of the ideas and the concepts.
Yeah, I suppose you could see that there. I suppose what people would probably see, we actually moved to office in Warren Point. We were in Dock Street in the town.
You're around at the railings there where the muscle boats.
That's correct. We're actually in the process of moving over to Charlotte Street. And
you're moving away from there.
Everybody, all hands to the deck. I got the job of painting the inside and outside of our building. So most people would have seen me out on my knees painting the building last week, and now I'm sure they're looking at me in the paper tomorrow, with a chain around my neck. They'll be trying to match the two of them up.
Absolutely. But your father, are you anything to Catherine Ruane?
No, we obviously
Katrina Ruane.
Yeah, we're obviously both members of Sinn Féin, and herself's an MLA for Southdown, and I'm a councillor within Southdown. But no, we're not related. We just by coincidence, we just happened. Well, I'm born and bred in Warren Point. My father was from Castlebar in County Mayo, and Katrina's family were from Castlebar in County. A big coincidence,
a real coincidence indeed. You mentioned, of course, Katrina is the MLA, an MLA for the area. What's your sense of being able to serve? Do you think you can get more done as an MLA or more done as a councillor? If you could wave a magic wand and be either one, what would your preference be?
I suppose I would say a councillor, because that's all I've ever been. So
it's hard. But that's not a reason not to do the other.
It's not a reason not to do it, but I'm quite content and quite happy with the position I'm in.
Do you sense you're closer to people? Like when Katrina goes up the hill and through the big revolving doors of Stormont, in a funny kind of way, she's gone away from us a wee bit. I know that's not the case, but you're here walking on the street every day of the week, and your constituents greet you and laugh with you, and have a coffee with you.
That could be true as well. I suppose the nature of the assembly is that you have to be in Belfast a number of days a week, and that's not with council. You're up and down from the council offices.
Yeah, so maybe that's why you're happier being a councillor here.
Well, I'll say my colleague Willie Clark from Newcastle, who was MLA for Southdown as well. Yeah. Actually, Willie had decided that he had enough of the assembly and he preferred to go back in the council.
Yeah, it's a real direct kind of contact with people. It's like a family situation almost.
It's not. It's in a way. It's not. Transpired or anything. You're just going about your daily business. You're maybe going in for your newspaper in the morning. You're grabbing a pint of milk at dinner time. You're seen walking about the street between your office and your car. It's just the way things happen.
It seems to me I have had over my rambles in the Democrat have been going on now for 14 years, but all my life I've been a commentator, and I've had strong views without responsibilities.
I've seen you in the paper this morning testing the waters.
That's right, but that was good, wasn't it? Because that was you would identify with that. Last Friday, I think, or last Thursday, was World Environment Day.
Yeah.
So rather than just sit and shout about it and whatever, there was a filth sludge on the surface of the canal in Newry, and myself and Graham down at Grounded decided we'd take a sample and bring it up to the council. And we didn't want to be argumentative in any way, but say, look, this is on the canal, what is it? And your guys came back like, wow, by close of play that day and say, look, it's safe. It's an algae bloom because of the warm weather and little rain. And we were delighted to do that. Yeah. But very often I can comment without responsibility, and I could not do your job because you're besieged with people and their problems day and daily. You're a shoulder that's constantly there to lean upon.
Yeah, I've no doubt about that there. You have to be mindful of what you say at times, and you have to take on board everything you're hearing. There's different views out there and people, different expressions of interest in different things, and I think you're just being mindful of all that there all the time. But at the same time, if there's issues to be raised, they have to be issued and they have to be dealt with. No doubt about it.
How is the general health within the council chamber at the moment? Sometimes, every now and again, there can be a seismic peak. The Richter scale hits 10 and there's a row. Doesn't happen that much, does it?
No, not very often. If I go back to when I first came into council in 2001, it would have been the opposite. And I think over the years that has diminished.
Yeah, mellowing.
Yeah, it's diminished dramatically, and I think, as you say, with all chambers, I'm sure there's going to be the odd row, if you'd like to put it that way. But in general terms, the meetings are conducted in a fashion that allows everybody to get on with their business. Mm.
I noted in the paper today that fellow, he was an MLA. He's from Upper Ban. His name escapes me at the moment, but he's a unionist, and he's suggesting that the Narrowwater Bridge should be called the Parachute Bridge. And he's making the point that we've a great token to unionist community. I get very tired of listening about communities. The green community, the orange community. My heart pleads for the time when we will have a unity in one community. And where are we on that road of that kind of, I want it called the Parachute Bridge, I want it called the Bloody Sunday Bridge. Not that that has been said, but the Parachute Bridge has been mentioned because of the death of the Parachute Regiment fellows there and all of that. But are we any closer to becoming one community?
I don't think we should be directed in the way we speak about things by one individual who's made those comments, who isn't from the area, who's had nothing to say on the issue from day one. I think, I know yourself has spoken to the bridge group. You've spoke to Jim Boylan in the past,
absolutely,
and Jim will tell you that it has been cross-party, it is cross-community, all those on the group itself and the political representatives have all got in behind it. I think, as my colleague has said in the paper this morning, I don't see any other name other than the Narrowwater Bridge. Yeah. We have the Narrowwater Roundabout, Narrowwater Keep, Narrowwater Picnic Area.
What about the Narrowwater Peace Bridge?
No, I just simply the Narrowwater Bridge.
Yeah.
You know, just by naming things, peace doesn't create peace.
No.
You work on the peace and you build the peace.
Yeah. How are you building peace?
Well, I would like to think day and daily in my role, I represent all the communities, and I have done from the time I've come in, and I continue to do that. And I think if you're talking about it, then you're just saying it for the sake of it. I would just rather get on with it.
Yeah, yeah. I have to ask you this, the old support of Sinn Féin and the IRA days and all of that, that's all behind us now. And have we come completely clear of that? Are we now totally democratic within Sinn Féin?
I would say Sinn Féin have always been democratic.
Of course,
yeah.
But your support in the sense for the acts of violence that occurred, they were well explained why you were not criticising it, but we seem to have a different Sinn Féin now.
I don't see that at all. I just say it's always the same Sinn Féin.
Yeah, well,
times move on,
yeah.
People move on, and that's what has happened. And we're as dedicated to the peace process as anybody
Yeah.
is, and I think that there's plain for anyone to see.
But you're out there now, the difference is you're out there now condemning people who would call themselves the IRA, these dissident fellows.
That's for
very
them.
strongly.
That's for them to speak for themselves, and I think
No, but Sinn Féin is doing that.
Oh, no,
you are doing that, and
I
Martin did it quite recently.
Yeah. And I think when he does that there, and the likes of Jerry Kelly speak on behalf of us all.
Yeah.
So when they express them
Absolutely.
concerns or those views, we all the same views.
You have
hold
a
the same
good
view.
confidence in your heart that beats beneath that great chain there, that we are well on the road, have you?
I have. I'm extremely confident in myself. I'm extremely confident in the party I represent, and I think we're going forward, and we continue to go forward as a political party. There's only one way you want to go, and that's up, and you continue to do that by serving the people and by being there for them. And if you can make a difference in their lives, then well and be, that's what it's all about.
That's a lovely phrase. If you can make a difference in their life, then that's what it's all about. That's a gorgeous phrase. Yeah, you can be very proud of that phrase.
Well, I think
have it as your motto for your year of service.
I think from I came into this, and I say I wasn't too sure what I was letting myself in for at the start when I came in, but I have to say I have been humbled on the 3 occasions that I have been elected, and the people have taken the time out to go down and put my name on an X beside my name on a ballot paper. And as I say, last night when I got home and I switched on Facebook, I was extremely humbled by the number of messages and well dones and that there from different people, and it does humble you.
Yeah.
And
You are a humble man. I sense
well,
that
I'd like
coming
to think
through
I
from
am,
you.
yeah.
Man who cares about people.
Well, you try to, you know, if you're brought up that way, and that's I'd like to think my mother and father brought me up that
It's
way.
very hard to escape that.
No,
The way we were
that's
brought
where
up.
it comes from.
That's
You
where it
know,
comes
we mightn't always done the right things in the past,
Yeah.
but
Have you
it
still
comes
got them
through.
with you, Mum
I
and
have
Dad?
my mother with me. My father passed away. It's gone on near 9 years now.
I'd say she'd be very proud of you.
Well, yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
she doesn't say a big lot, but it was nice to have her up at the chamber along with the rest of my family, my wife
really?
and son.
When was that, last night?
Last night, yeah.
Wow, when it occurred.
Yeah, obviously
Fantastic.
it's nice
Yeah.
for the family to bring them all up, yeah.
So you've a year ahead of you, a year of service to the people. What's the theme going to be for you?
Well, I think as you started off, I think I was the first mayor that took the role that didn't have a prepared speech at all, and I didn't choose the theme at all. I would like to just take the year as it comes and work it as best as I can.
I'm so delighted to hear that some mayoral speeches of the past, and I'm not pointing in any direction, have over the past number of years, they've been disastrous because people are given a speech to read, and it sounds as though they're reading it. But you have everything you'll ever want to say on the screen that is your heart. You don't need to be reading anything. You've got it already. And I wish politicians would do that more and more, not be handed the words of others to read, to be read rather badly on many, many occasions. Yeah. So please keep resolute on that.
I wouldn't say I'll not be using speeches, but when I can, I won't.
Turn them to your own language. Don't let words be
I think
put in your
sometimes
mouth.
they can be too long and long-winded, and I think you lose people in that sense.
Absolutely.
And just a few words is better sometimes.
So
than
continue on the journey for me. What you're going to do this year, and what you hope it will achieve, and what you hope your family and you will survive, because it'll be very hard work.
Listen, I don't doubt it. I've had a number of colleagues that have taken the role in the last number of years, and I've seen to a large extent how it has been for them. So I've no doubt what lies ahead. I'm more than ready for it, and you just bring it on. And I'm probably a lot younger than a lot of them that have done it.
How old are you?
Well, I'm 42 at this moment.
Wow, I tell you.
I have a few years and quite a few
Yeah.
of them, so I think if the rest of the boys could handle it, I'm sure I can handle it.
You
then.
might help me now to do
Yep.
something. You're at the right age for this, and this is a good thing
Yeah.
that I'm going to suggest. You're coming up to a very important age in your life when you hit the 50. Now, there's a thing called prostate cancer that
Yes.
affects men of a certain age. I took the trouble of getting the blood test done 18 months ago,
Yeah,
and I discovered that I had prostate cancer. But because I took the trouble to look after myself, I caught it early, and it will not kill me. My surgeon, or not my surgeon, my specialist in Belfast told me that 80% of men who are over 60 have prostate cancer. So they must check and look after themselves. And the way to do it is a thing called a PSA, prostate specific antigen blood test. So what I'm saying is I had that test done, and it pointed a finger at danger.
yes.
And as a consequence of that warning, I was able to keep an eye on it and make sure it wouldn't go any further. And that's what I did. So I'm appealing to people out there, men of a certain age, to look after their health, not to leave it to their wife, not to leave it to anybody else, but to get the PSA blood test done and check your health. Women do it with breast cancer all the time. So maybe during the year you would bear that in mind and mention that to men and to women, that those simple things, good watching cuts the head of bad luck.
Yeah, listen, if I can use the role of Mayor in Newry and Mourne to promote anything, I will more than happy to do that.
I would love you to do that in the year ahead, to remind men who are over 50 to get, as well as their cholesterol when they're getting it checked, to get their PSA blood tests done as well.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm still a fair bit off the 50 yet, so.
Oh, you are, but I mean, you're
I'm still closer to the
but
40 than
you
the
look
50.
fit. You look fit as
That's
that.
what having a
There was
dog
a
does.
fellow. There's a fellow sitting in there earlier doing the sport. What was that fellow's name? Oh yeah, Damien Rafferty. You see, that's the other thing happens to you when you get to a certain age. You can't remember names as well. But no, that's good. What sort of dog have you got?
I have a wee Westie.
Wow, you walk him.
I walk him.
And you do have the little required bag with you?
At all times, yes.
At all times.
Yeah, you have to practice what you preach.
I saw, it's appalling, some of the way people deal with dogs and stuff. They just don't care. You've got to go to the council now, haven't you?
Yeah, I have some representatives from a few of the primary schools coming up
that's
for
lovely.
actually
That's
a
lovely.
poster competition that the Environmental Health Department were involved in regarding dog filing. So
yeah.
I'll have that here coming up at 11 o'clock.
One of the schools you'll come across is St Mary's Girls' High School in Newry.
Yes.
And I have to tell you with very substantial pride, they are twinned with St Mary's Primary School and Secondary School in Papiri in northwest Nigeria. We have built the schools there. Newry people's £500,000 have built the schools there. And Morris Fitzpatrick from St Mary's has been out at the school in Africa. So we have a Newry outreach to the other rest, as we have the Abbey going to Zambia, St Mark's goes out, St Paul's, all of the schools are going out, Our Ladies. So you have a great school population of caring.
Well, I have a fair idea regarding schooling in the area. I sit on a number of boards of governors. I sit on Clontarfleece, I sit on St Dallan's and St Mark's. Well, there's
it's in danger of closing.
Yeah, the Friends of Clontarfleece have a group that's been working away in the background for quite a number of weeks now. We've had a visit up to the Assembly, met with members of the Education Committee. Now we'll give it our best shot, and as I say, we can only but try.
Absolutely.
I actually went to the primary school myself, so I've my mother before me went,
Sean
and
would
her
have
mother.
taught you there.
Sean Campbell, would have had Sean Campbell
Absolutely,
there,
yeah.
So,
well, listen, you go well, and I offer you one final piece of, I offer you one piece of advice, and it comes in the saying of my African people. They will tell you this in the bush across the Niger. When you've done your best and can do no more, when you've done your best and can do no more, rest your head in your hand and leave the rest to God. It's not a bad bit of advice.
No.
And as you go, the other thing they will say to you is, go well.
Go well.
Michael Ryan, go well.
Just one point I would make, for those out there, the title for Newry is just the Mayor.
The Mayor.
The Lord bit doesn't sit
I'm not
too
sure
comfortably.
about that.
Well,
do you know something?
Yeah.
But I saw in the paper today that they regarded you as as the Mayor of Newry and Mourne Council. You're not the Mayor of the council. You're the Mayor of the city.
District.
Yeah, and the district.
Yeah.
So it's wrong to say you're the chairman of the council, but you're not the mayor of the council.
The Mayor of Newry and Mourne.
Yeah, you'll settle for that.
Collective. No, you have to represent all the
That's what I'm saying. You'll
Yeah.
settle for the mayor of Newry
Yeah.
and Mourne.
I'll drop the Lord bit and stick with the Mayor
That's all
bit.
right. I think etiquette might say that might insist that you take no. I jest.
I'll
You'll drop
I'll
the
settle
Lord.
with Mayor.
You're not
I'll settle-
taking any
No, I'll not
lordship.
take the Lord.
Ah,
no.
for goodness'
No,
sake. Yeah.
Definitely not.
Listen, God bless you. Go well. Take care.
No problem.
Now,
Thanking you.
I'll give you a piece of music so to see you on your way up the Merry Hill to the red brick building, the yellow brick road to the red brick building. Sean, take it away.